So today the Fever just lost to the Aces, and there's going to be a lot of chat either way based on this game. There's going to be a lot of haha, this team sucks, when in reality they just lost to the Aces. If you watch that game, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth, not live on stream, just kind of talking about that game and what I think we learned about the Fever. Because again, you learn kind of more about teams based on the defeat. You learn more against a good team than you do against a bad team. But before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. If we could hit 16.1k by the end of the day, that would be insane. 54 to go. Well, it's nearly tomorrow. It's 5:30 a.m. Either way, this is going to be hard for people to accept. Right now, Caitlin Clark is better when she is a pass-first point guard, picking and choosing when she gets her shots. She is better when she shoots when she's open. She is not better chucking. When she chucks, she misses. As much as she is a rhythm shooter, I think when she has the ball in her hand, the Fever are better. When she is looking for her teammates look better. When she's looking to shoot a crazy shot, she struggles. She seems to miss. It seems to be with Caitlin Clark when she thinks, oh crap, I have to shoot the ball. Whether that be a frustration shot when she hasn't touched the ball in a while, like at the start of the year, or now being like, oh, I have to shoot this X amount of shots, she seems to struggle. Caitlin Clark, obviously she's a rhythm shooter. You want her shooting as many shots as possible, but you also don't want her shooting bad shots. You just don't. You don't want her shooting step backs with a hand in her face from 35 feet. And that's kind of the only shots that Caitlin Clark is able to shoot right now because the way she's being guarded. And the way she's being guarded, I'm going to stand by this, is helping this team so much, especially recently. Do you know how many double-doubles with 10 assists there has been in the history of the WNBA for a rookie? 3. Or 3 is the record. 3. For Steward, 22 years ago. Do you know how many Caitlin Clark has had in the last 4 games? 3. In the last 4 games, she has tied a record that stood for 22 years in 4 games. Her teammates are starting to cut. She's the best passer in this league. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. A couple of sloppy turnovers, she's young, it happens. Especially because it was the 4th quarter. This is a young team. This is a really, really, really young team. So, there's going to be a learning curve. Especially when it comes down the stretch. When things are going bad, they don't have that leader to pull them out. You've got Temi, who is a leader. But you don't have the leader, for example, if this team had, let's just say, hypothetically, if you added, obviously, Age or Breanna, sure, it's just that good. Heck, even if you put in as good as Kelsey Mitchell is, look, she's a gunner. She's an absolute gunner. Even if you put in, a Jackie Young instead of Kelsey Mitchell. One of those older players that can go get hers and can kind of pull you out when things are going bad, which they don't have. Kelsey Mitchell just shoots. And Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are 22 years old. You can't forget that. They're both 22 years old. And Caitlin Clark is not, she's not this supreme leader yet in her career. She could be at some stage, but she's not yet. She's not going to be, she is a floor general. She plays the game the right way most of the time. She plays off instinct. She plays at a pace that teams can't keep up with. And that was so evident early today. She had 5 assists. She had 5 assists in the first 6 minutes of the game. I've never seen anything like it. It was just, bang, go long. We're going to score. They score on us, cool. 1 foot, out of bounds, throw it to you. Dribble, 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 dribble. Oh, someone's open. They couldn't keep up. Ironically, the Fever couldn't keep up with it long term, but Caitlin Clark can. It was the Iowa style of basketball. And we've seen enough of a sample size now over the course of the season that style of basketball is really going to work. It's really, really going to work. Especially when like, you can use Aaliyah Boston in the pick and roll to slow it down. We've seen Aaliyah Boston become one of the better role guys in the league. We've seen them become one of the better pick and roll partnerships in the league. Heck, one of the best pick and roll partnerships in the league. And now, like, on another day, Temi Fagbenle makes those layups. On another day, when Katie Lou has a seal there, she scores. Obviously, the fourth quarter was just the whole team completely out of whack. The whole team was garbage in the fourth quarter, except Mitchell, who they could be up 30, down 30. She's going to shoot the ball every single time she shoots it, every single time she catches it. But there's enough of a sample size to know that this team can be really tough to stop when they run a play at pace. Look, they're not equipped to do it for 40 minutes right now. They're just not. They're not fit enough to do it for 40 minutes. And that's fine, because they haven't had, none of these players have had to play it before. And it's a level of, like, conditioning that they haven't had to deal with before. And coming into next season, they could do it. Boston can trail the play. NaLyssa Smith, I wouldn't be that pushed on keeping NaLyssa Smith next year. The only reason I would keep NaLyssa Smith is if she allows you to get Dejanay Carrington. If she's going to recruit Dejanay Carrington, keep her. Otherwise, I think she's like, you can, I don't know if she's any sort of a trade asset if you would get a first for her. I know she was a second pick 2 years ago. She is the worst defender I've ever seen. She's legitimately the worst defender I've ever seen ever on the basketball court. And look, Caitlin Clark's not a very good defender. She's not, no matter what anyone says. She's not. Like, she's not as bad as people say she is, but she's not good. Like, NaLyssa Smith is 100 times worse on the defensive end. Good rebounder, though. And I think a team could do it with a NaLyssa Smith. I don't think this Fever team is going to be great for that. But every time I watch this team play, I'm like, they are so close. Like, this is a team that's so young. Like, people are like, oh, yeah, Chicago are young and stuff. It's like, no. Chicago are a vet team. They're a vet team. They just have Angel Reese. This is a team where their two best players are 22 years old. They're two. And it's not even a fact where it's like two bigs, where Cardoso and Angel Reese can play in that big position. And Cardoso, at times this year, has struggled. It's literally a case of, with these anyway, where it's their 1-5 partnership. It is the future of their franchise. It is the guard big partnership. These two are going to be there for a long, long time. And it is a case of just filling around them. I don't know what you do with Kelsey Mitchell. You probably keep Kelsey Mitchell. All-star shooting guards don't grow on trees. And you probably keep her for 1 year anyway. You bring her back next year, just in case you need to bring her back in 2026. You bring her back on a 1 year next year. You try and get someone on a 1 year next year. And yeah, it is. Like, this is a game where you might be saying, oh, this team is, like, really struggling, or they lost by 20. Like, or even like, oh, the Sky only lost by 12. Or there were two different games. The Sky were getting blitzed. They were getting destroyed. And then they pulled it back in garbage time. Whereas the Fever were in the game the whole way, and then they just got blitzed at the end. Two completely different games. But I'm really optimistic about this team. I think they're a lot better. They're not that much better than their record shows, but they're a lot better than the scoreline showed tonight. If you had have told me how that game was going to go, look, the Aces needed to play really well. I've seen the Aces go through the motions. I've seen the Aces really go through the motions. I've seen Asia Wilson against the Sky put up 23 points and a half and then chill. I've seen Kelsey Plum have some garbage games this year. I've seen this team go through the motions. That's how they ended up 6-6, even without Chelsea Gray. They just thought, oh, we're back-to-back champions, we're going to win. I've seen them blow leads against the Atlanta Dream. I've seen them lose to the Dream. The Dream suck. And, yeah, it is, like, this was the Aces at full strength. And this was not nearly like the game at the start of the year. The Aces sleptwalked to a blowout at the start of the year. This was a game. And the Fever put it up to them early. And for a young team, there's going to be mistakes. It's a long season. They're going to lose a lot more games than they win. But at the end of the day, there are a lot more positives coming out of this team than there has been since Tamika Catchings was there.